It's an original six matchup in the sixth, the second meeting of the season between the Blackhawks and Maple Leafs, who kickstarted their season with a comeback overtime victory in the Windy City in late October and are looking for a reboot tonight after dropping 3 of their last 4. Well, 500-win goaltender Marc-Andre Fleury gets the night off, so it's Kevin Lankinen making his second start of the season against the Maple Leafs. And Toronto will go with Peter Mrazek tonight, his first start since October 30th, as he looks for some traction in his first season as a Maple Leaf. It has been a turbulent year for the Blackhawks, but they've enjoyed a turnaround, Greg. Their new interim coach, Derek King.
Yeah, and I think the one thing is they've got a little bit more confidence. The season started out so horribly, just one win in their first 12. They're a better defensive team, and on the other side, the Leafs looking to put a little bit of a better defensive performance in again tonight as well.
King, of course, a former Maple Leaf and an assistant coach with the Toronto Marlies as they play underway. Dylan Strome is back in the lineup for Chicago and centers the opening line for the Blackhawks tonight as Riley Stillman back in his own zone, got spun around, lost it, and a pass for Kasha doesn't work. Andre Kasha up on the top line along with Austin Matthews and Michael Bunting, who's got the puck, checked by Kirby Dach at center ice. Dach will move up a notch and play along with Alex DeBrincat and Patrick Keane tonight. Henrik Borgstrom did the honors in a win against Montreal 2 nights ago, but he's out of the lineup tonight. A shrimp dinner last night apparently did not agree with him. I'm glad the one you had, Simmer, agreed with you.
So far, so good.
Patrick Keane on the ice looking for his 700th career assist at .699 coming into the game. Got a pass from DeBrincat, checked by Tavares, played to the line but kept in by Connor Murphy. Now swung out in front. TJ Brody couldn't reach that. Jake McCabe gets it to DeBrincat. Next point for him will be number 250. He'll send it around to the near side, intended for Keane, cut by Riley, who rolls it back into the Chicago zone. Onto the ice comes former Blackhawk David Kampf, who had a huge goal in Chicago in that comeback win when the Leafs were struggling and down 2-0 in the opening period against the Blackhawks. And that's an icing call against Chicago.
Well, you think of the big game tonight for Peter Mrazek. You know it's been a struggle. You come to a new team, you get injured in the second period of your very first game. You get one other chance and get his first win against his former team, Detroit Red Wings. But it's been a long journey. It's been a hard one. One game down with the Marlies. And here you got to just trust your body and make sure that you get your mind focused on just playing and not worrying about the lateral movement that comes with a sore groin.
Face-off win in the defensive zone by Jonathan Toews, who bumped a scoring slump in Montreal and goes to the attack here and scores! Goals in back-to-back for the captain after scoring his first in game 25 on Thursday night.
Well, the one thing coming into this game for Sheldon Keefe was saying their offense has been giving up too many turnovers that have created troubles defensively. Here's an odd man rush, and Kampf goes right to the potential 2-on-1 candidate, and there's a play in the middle of the ice that just a little hesitation for Hall, and what a difficult start for Mrazek. A point-blank shot underneath the blocker. Good patience by Toews. You said for Toews it's been a long haul and a really, really frustrating year after missing all of last year. Scored his first goal in 29 games. March 5th of 2020 was the goal before, and now here he's scored in back-to-back.
And even for Captain Sirius, there was a big smile when he scored the other night in Montreal. Here come the Leafs, Bunting back on the attack after taking that pass from Matthews. Dahan is jostled there by Kasha, battling along the end boards. And now off the stick to Bunting, tied up by Toews. Bunting to the net. Bunting shot is stopped by Lankinen as the Leafs get their first shot on goal. And upended was Jake Muzzin. The Leafs will get the first power play of the night.
Well, that's exactly what you try to do. You give up an early goal, you get it back in the offensive zone. And as we've seen so often, Michael Bunting and now Kasha on that line, they just hunt the puck down. Matthews comes in, Bunting gets one good chance that Lankinen able to make the save on. But here, coming down, there's the slash down to the feet of Muzzin. So Muzzin activating, coming down the boards, draws the penalty, and a power play early chance here for the red-hot power play of the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Power play brought to you by Stellarup. Ask your doctor if Stellarup is right for you. Leafs have been red hot on the power play, going 8 of their last 15 over a 4-game span.
There's times when things are just clicking, but 4 games in a row scoring 2, it just doesn't happen all that often. Right now, their confidence is sky high.
And they're back in with Tavares, Matthews, Riley across. There's William Nylander. Kasha goes to the front of the net. Comes across for Tavares. His shot scores! Got through Lankinen! And the power play is still running hot.
You really get a sense of just calmness on this power play, puck movement and player movement. It's a combination. You see the blue sweaters supporting each other, puck from up high, down low. Matthews goes side to side, and this is one for Lankinen, though, that he's got to have. I think even Tavares was just looking to try to get the puck on the front of the net, outman there, and try to get a rebound. This one goes right underneath the arm. He didn't quite get that glove tucked into the body. Tavares with the head up, and he continues his hot string. That's a 4-game scoring streak for the captain.
And points at 8 of 9. Matthews will draw an assist. So those two top the Leafs scoring parade with 30 points each. When the Leafs last faced Chicago, they were 25th on the power play. They're number 2 and on the move right now. So back on even terms here. The goals come 61 seconds apart. Engvall lost it. There's Mrazek with his first stop. It'll come back to the line. Seth Jones for Kurashev. Across to DeHaan, and he whistled that wide of the target. Ricochet back towards Seth Jones, and that's played past Jones and out to the Hawk line. Sent back in by Kurashev. Just called back up from Rockford. Engvall unable to reach that. Kubalik looks for it. Now the Leafs will take over. Jake Muzzin will buy some time to get a Leaf change.
That was a big save for Mrazek, though. It wasn't that dangerous of the chance, but one that was another point blank right in the slot. Able to settle himself down and into this game.
Good hustle by Kerfoot, and now Kerfoot's got it behind the Chicago net. Worked over there by Stillman. TJ Brody moves up. Here's Nylander from distance, and that went wide. Morgan Riley, and a toe stop by Lankinen on that. Kick back to Nylander. Good feverish start to this game, and a slot pass. Tavares unable to get it through. That was the 13th goal of the year for Tavares, looking for more. Deflected back to the line, and Riley shot his glove by Lankinen through the traffic.
Well, good response from both sides. You mentioned goal for Toronto to tie this up, and then at the other end, able to get some chances off of a turnover. This is just a sloppy play by Engvall, and that's what I meant. A little tip there, Mrazek able to get it. One thing Morgan Riley has been excellent at, especially during this hot streak of assists for him. 10 assists in his last 7, and so many times just able to thread that one through. You heard Ron talking to him in the warm-up about his wrist shot and his head up. There was a great example of just getting it through to the front of the net.
20 assists for Riley on the season. Assists have been coming fast and furious of late. There's a penalty coming up against Christians Rubens, an interference call as he slowed up Ryan Carpenter.
You know, it almost looked like Justin St. Pierre was thinking about this one because it was a bang-bang play. If you're right on the puck, you can take the body. Earlier in the game, Seth Jones did the exact same thing on, I think that one was okay. The puck was right there. Look at the delay. It's almost like he thought about it, wasn't sure if he was going to make the call. That's almost simultaneous hit, and to me, that's not a penalty.
So the Leafs a power play goal. Now Chicago gets its first power play of the night. 3 of their last 11, and a chance there, and Taves missed the target from the slot. It'll be Jones to Keane. Patrick Keane down low looking for Taves. That was broken up, and now Muzzin battles with Taves in the corner. Comes loose for Kasha, and Andre Kasha with a move inside. Now he'll go to the attack and turn back and lose the puck to Taves. TJ Brody will take over. The Leafs had some trouble killing penalties of late. 12 of their last 19, and that seems to coincide with the absence of Mitch Marner.
6 goals against in the 4 games Marner has been out. And the Leafs penalty killers only had 2 in the previous 11. No question, it just gets the chemistry of the penalty killers, your units, and other guys have to adjust.
Hawks 20th on the power play. The Leafs now 19th on the kill when they were top 10 for much of November. 50 seconds remaining in the Rubens penalty as Seth Jones kicks it back, and here comes Patrick Kane. 30 points in 19 career games against the Leafs in front. Oh, a big stop by Mrazek off Alex DeBrincat.
So often on a power play, you don't expect a chance off the rush. This time, good speed in the neutral zone, a little trading of the puck, and now attacking the net quickly. This is a huge save as DeBrincat unable to get that one up and over. But there's that side-to-side movement for Mrazek that's so important, and boy, that's almost eerily similar to the way he went down with his first injury in Ottawa, making a toe save. That time, he was able to get there on DeBrincat and not allow him to make it a 2-1 game.
Kept in at the line by Kurashev. Now Doc trying to center, rejected by Muzzin. Again, a centering pass that hits the side of the net. The chance for Dylan Strome. Around it comes to Kubalik. 3 power play goals for Kubalik. Leafs don't get a clear. And Chicago maintains possession. Gustafsson across. Strome unable to reach that, but it comes back to him. And now Gustafsson again. He's shot off of Hall in front and retrieved here by Chicago. Strome again. Got it back from Kubalik. Gives it to Kurashev. He'll walk out in front. And a shot there stopped by Mrazek as Rubens returns to the ice. One shot for the Hawks with the power play. That was that great chance by DeBrincat. It'll come back to Murphy, and a blocker stop by Mrazek, who right into the game now. After the first shot by Taves beat him. All ahead. Can't fend on that. It'll be kept in the Toronto zone. Chicago with some momentum after the power play. And now loose for Christian Rubens, who celebrates his 24th birthday here tonight, and he'll bounce it down into the Hawk zone. And we're told there's a watch party going on at 2 a.m. in Latvia tonight, watching Christian Rubens playing in his 3rd NHL game. It's been a big week for him.
Sure has, and you're 6'5", 227. You use your body. He's got 11 hits in the 2 games that he's played in so far, and he's looked really comfortable.
Here comes Kasha on his backhand, flips it into the glove of Lankinen, who holds on. So a fast start tonight. As Jonathan Taves scores before the game's 2 minutes old, and 61 seconds later, John Tavares.
The favorites now. Craig mentioned March 5th, 2020, and here's video evidence. The last regular season goal Jonathan Taves had scored until Thursday night. You could see the weight come off his shoulders on the bench after he put that one in the back of the net. He said he'd been trying to visualize the puck on his stick and seeing it go in the net different ways. It finally became a reality again in Montreal, and here tonight from relief to just a little more fire as he's got 2 in 2, Chris.
Missed all of last year with what has been described as chronic immune response syndrome, and he has said he's still not quite right yet, but a promising sign for Blackhawk fans and for hockey fans that Jonathan Taves is warming up. Leafs win an offensive zone draw. Kasha watched by Murphy, centering pass, and Matthews took a swing at it, but Chicago able to get it out to center. Here's Riley, up ahead off Kasha, Lankinen out to play that. Swung around, Keane can't clear it, kicked in by Brody. It's played in front of the net. Murphy under duress, swings it back to the right point where TJ Brody's got the puck. For Bunting, Morgan Riley had moved up and unable to take that pass off his skates, and Chicago clears.
Great read by Riley there, though, as he saw Patrick Kane wasn't looking at him, so he just literally took that time to go around him and almost created a scoring chance.
Here's DeBrincat, and that's off the blocker of Mrazek, who comes out beyond the blue to challenge. Now Eric Gustafsson across. Gustafsson with Montreal last year, and a breakaway pass for Nylander just failed to click. Of course, William Nylander won the first meeting in overtime on a breakaway goal against Lankinen. An assist on the Tavares goal tonight. Timothy Liljegren back in his own zone. Nylander up to 28 points on the season. 88 over the line. Steers it in for Tavares. A centering pass, scores! Nylander on a perfect feed by the captain.
Well, you saw Nylander's look at John Tavares there. This play is made something out of nothing because Tavares able to handle the pressure down low. Nylander starts it in the defensive zone. Kane's making a change, so there's some open ice ahead of him, and he just takes it, gets in down deep. A little dump in to the captain, and he does a great job of absorbing the hit by DeHaan, but getting to the puck first. And then Nylander gets lost, gets inside on Kirby Dach, and Dach's just a passenger there. He's watching instead of attacking and trying to get in position. Bad stick by DeHaan, great pass by Tavares. And this combo continues their hot streak. That's a 4-game streak for Nylander as well.
Are they ever hot? William Nylander now goals in 6 of 8. And a pair of points already tonight. He has 13 and 9. John Tavares, 15 points the last 9.
You know, you start talking about chemistry, and what is chemistry? Well, it's not having to look to know where the root of your partner is. And that was a perfect example of Nylander just going to the open area and Tavares basically a no-look, knowing exactly where Nylander was going to be.
Hawks have been stingy since Derek King took over. It was a low-event game in Montreal, and I think there was an expectation that might be the case here tonight, but hardly the case in the opening 10 minutes.
Well, that's the challenge for the Chicago Blackhawks right now. They haven't been able to play top-tier teams and stop the defensive problems that they've had. You know, you're right. They started the year with 4+ goals against in the first 6 games. That's not on Derek King. His first 4 games, they put a 4-game winning streak together. They've been win-loss since then, and this is always a challenge defensively with this group.
Dave won a draw. Stillman shot from the point, and Mrazek stopped it and able to pounce on that with the traffic as Taves appeals for a penalty in front.
Well, here's the dig down deep for Jonathan Taves. He thought he was interfered with trying to get to the net by Camp. Camp has no stick, so he turns. Does he get a little grab in with the rebound there? Yeah, that's exactly what he's talking about. Watch, Camp doesn't have his stick, so he grabs Jonathan Taves. Taves trying to get to the rebound, and he's up immediately looking for a call and is unable to get it.
Both captains on the board tonight. Taves opened the scoring. And then Chicago, for the 8th time this year, has given up a goal in the first 3 minutes. That's the most in the league. And the Leaf follow up at 8:14. Nylander from Tavares and Liljegren. Over the line, Wayne Simmons, Calvin DeHaan, former junior teammate to Tavares and Oshawa. Simmons got it back, tried to feed the point. That didn't work, and Kubalik after it. Christian Rubens gets back in a hurry. Now Richie Jones played it away from him. Hall steps up. It's turned over at center. Back in comes Dominic Kubalik, looking for his first even strength goal of the year. Into the middle for DeHaan. And now it's Jones from an angle. Mrazek held the post, made the stop, and Simmons with the clear. Shots are 8-6 Chicago as both teams make changes. And here comes Keane and DeBrincat. Over the line, DeBrincat. Pass missed Dach. It'll come back to Stillman. And the blocker stopped by Mrazek. Alex Steeves ahead to Kyle Clifford.
This is a big shift for the Toronto line here. 4th line against the Kane line here. And you know, for Sheldon Keefe, you got to have some trust that sometimes you're going to get this kind of matchup. Let's see if they can survive this type of shift.
With the early goal and a couple of power plays, got to get in their second shift. And Morgan Riley shovels it down. Clifford on the hunt. There's Engvall following up. They surround Stillman and pry it loose. Engvall looking to center for Steeves. And knocked away from him, and now a penalty coming as Clifford was knocked down by Stillman. And play called, and that hot lead power play gets another opportunity.
Well, hey, and how about that? A fourth line shift against the top line, and you know for Sheldon Keefe, that'll get you some more ice time. Good down work, creates turnovers, creates a penalty. Power play coming up for the Leafs.
During the skate, that's been Derek King's calling card for years. Let's flash back to King's playing days with the Leafs in the late 90s, a special time for the Hamilton native. Hello, Scott Oak.
I think anybody who grew up in that area can have a chance to put a Leaf jersey on. Has got to be proud of it, and it's got to be a dream. And it is a dream for me, but...
And a big weekend for the King family. This game here tonight, and of course, Hamilton hosting the Grey Cup tomorrow. Chris?
Well, Derek King, 6 times a 20-goal scorer, twice with Toronto, but he paid his dues as a coach. 13 years in the American Hockey League. And now the Leafs to their second power play of the night. When they left Chicago in late October, they were on an 0 for 17. They are now 9 of their last 16 with the man advantage. After the Tavares goal to get them on the board tonight, the captain through to Matthews. Austin Matthews tracked by Taves in the pass for Nylander, doesn't work and sends Toronto back.
Almost looked like Matthews thought about shooting there for a second, decided to go around and just unable to connect with Nylander out high.
There's Nylander in. He looks for Tavares on the near side. Tried to swing it back towards Kasha. That doesn't work. After it is Reese Johnson, and that's played to the line but not out. Now they'll get it set up with just over a minute remaining. It's Matthews, hot shot off the shoulder of Lincoln, and he's able to retrieve it. Now in behind the net, Tavares trying to get position. Chicago will get there first and get it clear. So the second unit comes on, 45 seconds to work with. Josiah Slavin, Jacob Slavin's kid brother, out on the kill for Chicago, wearing number 36. Another 7th round draft choice. I think every game we've done this year, there's been a 7th rounder in the lineup. You can't take the deep part of that draft lightly because there's usually some gold there.
Absolutely, and usually a few undrafted players who found their way and have been able to really flourish.
Rubens and Steves in that category, undrafted in the game tonight. Lanking it out to set it up for DeHaan. That popped up into the air, and the Blackhawks able to clear, and that was a quiet power play for the Leafs. One shot with a man advantage. Back at full strength is Chicago. Liljegren with an assist in the game sends it in. Timothy Liljegren had 4 shots on Thursday in the loss against Tampa. The Leaf Blue Liners had 15, which matches a season high. I think Sheldon Keefe was as impressed with their offensive prowess as concerned with the giveaways and the turnovers by his team the other night.
Really interesting, though, how he correlated just their lack of offensive effectiveness, which created so many of those. Well, here we go, another one.
Yeah, for sure. An easy call to make as Alex Kerfoot is upended.
You know, a quick little stop up by Kerfoot, and that's one reaction for Stillman, unable to get to the puck. Now he's just got foot on foot. Kerfoot tries to make the play. Power play coming up again for the Leafs.
Good deeds to make hockey more inclusive. Visit ChevroletGoodDeedsCup.ca to find out more.
Host Anastasia Biusis has one-on-one conversations with athletes on the Player's Own Voice podcast. Find it on CBC Listen or wherever you get your podcasts. Game 3 of the Jason Spezza suspension being served tonight. Otherwise, he'd be out there right now on this 3rd Leaf power play of the evening.
Having a wonderful season, 7 goals already in his 26 games, and I think the overall feeling was 6 games was quite a penalty. You think about what he's been able to do in the face-off dot, and that's a big thing here. 33% coming into that draw, but a big win there by Tavares to get this settled up.
A unit back to work. 3rd power play of the night. 4 straight games with 2 power play goals, looking to make it 5. And there's Matthews with it. 6 power play goals on the season for 34. At the line for Riley. Nylander fires, short side in front, scores! Austin Matthews has
the doorstep again is Kasha, and he's starting to get a little bit of a comfort in this position. And he keeps this play alive. Once again, down low, up high, side to side. That spreads up a lot of passing lanes. The shooting lane isn't taken away by Murphy, and just a heads-up play. He was actually trying to go across to Tavares. Instead, it ends up right in the high slot as Matthews, the deflection off the goaltender's pad. Kasha did a good job, though, of keeping this alive. I think he sees Tavares on the other side. Lankinen gets a toe on it, but right onto the tape of Matthews. That 7-game goal-scoring streak, as you mentioned, broken last game. He's right back up on the goal-scoring sheet again with his 18th of the season.
Goals in 8 of 9. It's a 9-game point streak for Matthews. A 7-game match to career high. He actually had an 8-game goal streak last year, but missed a game, and so officially was not credited with an 8-gamer. There's a jam play in front. It's Rubens, a chance, and that hit a leg and goes wide. Leafs looking for more after their third 3-goal first period of the season. And it's played past Hall and out to center.
And again, that's an amazing 5 straight with 2 power play goals. Is just keeping that one alive and out-manning the penalty killers in front. You had a triangle of all 3. Rubens looking up to try to see this replay as Camp does a nice power move. The rebound's there. He jumps into the lane. Good job getting in the way, though. Kurashev able to get a piece of that one, and that one not able to get through to the goaltender.
Face-off back in the Leaf zone. Tavares able to control against Kirby Dach, and Kerfoot out at center will chip it in and chase after it against Seth Jones. DeHaan centered around, kept in by Brody. A pass for Tavares, let that fly, and it ends up out of play.
JackpotCity.net. Casino games perfectly made for you.
3 goals in the period, and it's a 3-point first period for William Nylander, a goal and 2 assists.
You know, we talked early on of the Leafs unable to score early. You know, they were behind in goals for against for quite a while early in the season, but that's now their 27th goal after leading the league last year with 61 in 56 games.
The core 3 has done the scoring tonight without Mitch Marner. It's Matthews, Tavares, and Nylander all with goals here in the opening frame after Jonathan Toews got things started for Chicago. Off the glove of Brody, and he takes the handoff from Mrazek. Tried to clear, hit the teammate, but Nylander finds it, and back to the attack. Line mates are changing, and now he wants to head off. Tried to play it in deep. Engvall unable to come up with that. Brandon Hagel flips it to an open wing. Brody takes a look, sent it ahead off the stick of Dach and back inside the Chicago line. Under 3.5 to go here in the opening period. 2 power play goals for the Maple Leafs. The difference here so far in the opening 20. Here comes Alex Steeves looking to the left side. Riley couldn't reach it. Now Chicago turns with numbers. Kane fired that, and Mrazek able to make the stop as Kane tried to go over the glove, and now we've got a penalty, and the Leafs are going to be shorthanded. The question is, will it be 2 or 4?
A quick look at DeBrincat. I don't see any blood, so I believe it's going to be 2. But a turnover with Patrick Kane on the ice is usually in the back of your net. This one, though, nice job of Mrazek getting that. You saw his reaction. It dropped down, and as the play went across, just an errant stick there by Kasha got up into the face of DeBrincat on the left side of your screen right by the net. And so a good save by Mrazek. Doesn't allow Kane to capitalize, but the power play will get their second chance here for the Chicago Blackhawks. Penalty-filled period, eh?
Yeah.
5th already.
Under 3 to go in the period. Chicago trying to get one to get within 1 as Kane back to Jones, and the one-timer by DeBrincat didn't have much on it, and Hall gets a clear. Chicago off to a great start this season on the power play with Tyler Johnson in the bumper spot, but he's gone for the next 3 months with neck surgery similar to that of Jack Eichel when they'd missed him.
They had 10 power play goals in their first 10 and really struggled with just 4 since in the last 16.
Off the toe of Ryan Carpenter, and now Jones will bring them back in. Seth Jones with numbers that mirror that of Morgan Riley so far this season. Taves tried to play it to the line, but nobody there. Jones back. He played in front of the Leaf bench on a change. And some traffic there, but the Leafs came up with it without getting called for too many men. Rink wide for Kane. Back to Kane, 1,100 NHL points. That pass doesn't work for Seth Jones. 50 seconds left in the power play. Kane goes to the bench. Doc comes out along with Kurashev and Kubalik. Mentioned Kubalik, 3 power play goals, 1 6 on 5. 30-goal scorer in his rookie year. In comes Strome, trying to tuck it in. Mrazek got a piece of that. Shot by Gustafsson off the pipe. Kurashev up with a rebound, reloads for Gustafsson and Kubalik, and that one deflecting up off the netting. Not sure if that hit Mrazek.
Yeah, he got a piece of that one, Chris. He slid across well. He read that long pass across. He almost slid too far off the post on this play, though, is keeping it alive. He got the left pad back and didn't allow Strome to get it stuck. Then off the side of the net, and then this tracking across is a high shot by Kubalik. A bit of a knuckler, got him right off the elbow and off his elbow and up into the netting.
Wasn't sure if that hit Doc in front, but Mrazek makes his 10th consecutive save after allowing the first shot to go in, and now they'll tie it up at the side of the Leaf net with 9 seconds left in the penalty.
You know, there's another example of just your mental toughness as a goaltender. You got to just eliminate the negative thoughts. You anticipating getting back into this game. You're so excited. You got to be a little bit nervous no matter how many games you've played when you've been missing with injury, and to allow that first one to go in on a one-on-one shot against Taves. He's been able to settle in, track the puck. Jack Campbell gets a much-needed rest, and you know the idea here was to have some competition for the net. I'm not sure the competition is going to be that fierce with the kind of start the Campbells had, but this is ideally what Kyle Dubas and Sheldon Keefe were hoping for. 2 professional, talented goaltenders pushing each other each and every night for the net.
Sheldon Keefe mentioned today that Campbell's just played more than they expected. Obviously, he's been exceptional, but they need Mrazek to be able to share the load, and the more he plays, the better Jack Campbell may play as well as a rested goaltender. Murphy across, Kubalik, that drive is stopped by Mrazek with a penalty done as Kasha returns to the ice. Tough to start a season as a goaltender, anybody as Mrazek has with injuries, but especially as you start with a new team. Liljegren around, Kerfoot centering it, look for Matthews who had come out, and it bounces back inside the Leaf line. Rink wide, too far for Matthews, and back is Murphy, just out of concussion protocol. Sends it ahead. Ryan Carpenter over the line. Hardman taken to the boards. Battle continues here. Brandon Hagel trying to tie things up and pried loose there by Matthews, and Kasha's away. Matthews through center. Over the line he comes. Stopped up there by DeHaan. And Carpenter swats it back out to center, and the clock drains in the opening period as the Leafs put 3 on the board on 11 shots against Kevin Lankinen. So 1 done. Ron McLean in the panel coming up in our first intermission after goals by Taves, Tavares, Nylander, and Matthews. 3-1 Toronto after 20 minutes here at Scotiabank.
Release gel capsule. Derek King was talking this morning about the Blackhawks cutting down on the mistakes of late. but some costly ones leading to power plays for Toronto in the first period. The difference so far, first it was John Tavares. They went 2 for 3 in the opening 20 minutes. Austin Matthews on the man advantage as well. Toronto, the second best power play in the league coming into this one tonight. Chicago, meanwhile, have scored at least 3 goals in regulation, only twice in their last 15 games, so a bit of an uphill battle for the rest of this one. Chris?
That lead power play really clicking. Now 5 consecutive games with at least 2 power play goals. The last time they were able to do that in a 5 consecutive game span, 1993. So we start the second period as Jake Muzzin backhands it down into the Chicago zone. Seth Jones out there. 8:51 of ice time in the first period. Here's a chance for Bunting in front. And Matthews was tied up in front of the net as Bunting tried to connect with him. And here's Jones. Out at center for Kubalik. Watched by Liljegren and flipped back in by Matthews. Dahan and Jones under duress. Kasha tried to take it away from him. Kept in at the line by Liljegren. Andre Kasha sends it around to the far side. Kurashev there for Chicago. Liljegren stepped up on him. And now Dylan Strome flicks it away. Strome a perfect 6-0 in the face-off circle in the first.
You see another example of the chemistry between Bunting and Austin Matthews. Obviously with Mitch Marner out now for the 5th game, it's really actually started to work more. Kasha does a nice job keeping the puck in, a little give and go right back, and at the last second, that pass, Kubalik did a good job getting in stick, and the whistle went because Matthews got hit right in the elbow, and the linesman realized he didn't play the puck, but he wasn't on the bench yet, and that one smarted. He wasn't expecting to get hit, and that's why the whistle was blown.
It's the funny bone. Hopefully not closer to the wrist. Looks like he's okay.
And as always, a little comment from Jack Campbell gets a smile as one of the guys. Backup goaltenders always, everyone's a little bit different, but when you're sitting in that spot, it's always nice to be a part of the game and engaged with your teammates.
Here's Justin Hall into the Chicago zone, left it for Kerfoot. That shot hit a leg and went wide. Hall on the prowl, looking for it as he bumped into Stillman, but caught it back the other way. Here's Reese Johnson, and good recovery there by Rubens to get a stick on that and deflect it out of play.
Well, there's a good example. You know, Sheldon Keefe often talks about, I could see more out of William Nylander. Even when he's going well offensively, there's always a little push from the head coach. Well, there's one that you can put in the video next day in practice. Just a good awareness, realizing his D-man got caught and just kept his positioning, got his legs moving. You know, it's easy to go the other way when you got an offensive chance. You seem to have great speed. There was a good example of using your speed for a defensive smart play.
With all the turnovers and the defensive issues Thursday night, the forwards were hearing the wrath of the coach as much as the blue liners, and it's been a good response tonight after that very first odd man rush conceded to Taves for the opening goal.
Yeah, that's why it was a little bit rattling, wasn't it? That first goal was, oh no, here we go again, but they've tidied it up.
Andre Kasha, Matthews back to Kasha, to the net! Bunting stopped by Lankinen, and he swats his stick on the glass. That's Lankinen's best stop of the night.
He can't believe he didn't score, did he? It's just another good support passing right on the doorstep, and a great pad save there by Lankinen.
Back the other way, Doc along with Keane and DeBrincat. 4 men into the rush. Gustafsson with Mrazek down, sprawling well outside the blue paint. What happened to him? And the Leafs are lucky that that shot didn't hit the open net.
Well, goaltender's a big part on both sides. Here's the give and go. Kasha again starts the play down low, and then the pass right to the high slot, just off the toe of Lankinen, able to get a piece of it. And now Mrazek here was expecting the one-timer by Gustafsson. Got contact there with his defenseman Morgan Rielly, and how about that adjustment? Able to get the paddle down. Rielly stopping up and giving his goaltender a nice tap.
Strome beaten on that draw by David Kemp as it's sent around. Nick Ritchie unable to get it out. Camp lost the puck. Here's a chance, and Strome's shot is deflected up onto the screen.
Spider-Man: No Way Home.
So face off to the left of Peter Mrazek. Strome, the number 3 pick back in 2015. Trying to find his way back into the Chicago lineup. He's been in and out under Derek King and trying to reestablish himself after one good offensive season. 51 points a couple of years back, but has struggled to find his form consistently. Here's Hagel. Simmons unable to reach that. One of the Leafs' bottom 6 have been kind of taken out of this game to a certain extent, haven't they?
You get a period where you've got 5 power plays and 2 penalty kills by the Maple Leafs, 3 power plays. So yeah, those guys have a hard time finding the ice time, and it becomes a challenge for the coach to keep them engaged and get them back into the game here in the second.
Here's a takeaway by Engvall. Steeves fired it and missed the target there. Good look for Alex Steeves, looking for his first NHL goal. Gets it to Clifford. It'll be cycled back to Engvall. Steeves in front. Engvall shot, scores! It's a 4th line goal, and the Leafs have 4 on the night.
I remember that shift in the first period where they had a mismatch up against the top line and they drew a penalty with some good offensive zone work. Same thing, creating turnovers. Here's the quick little shot by Steeves, just a little far and right, but Clifford keeps the cycle going down low. Steeves has got one man in front, and then the quick turnaround from a tight angle as Lankinen overplayed. He got himself, he's already down, and tried to get closer to where the tip might come from and just lost his net a little bit. Good reaction by Engvall, and there's another payoff. I don't think this is going to be a night where King is going to look down and put Fleury in a position to go in after all that he's been through the last couple of days. It's Lankinen's net, but the 4th line for the Leafs makes it a 4-1 game.
3:25 the time of the goal by Engvall, his 4th of the year. 4-1 Leafs. Hall off the side of the net, and Lankinen will hold on to that.
And right as you were saying, for Sheldon Keefe, the challenge of getting the bottom 6 in. So you had back-to-back where a couple of good shifts, and now your 4th line gets the payoff. And that always lifts the bench up as well. Steeves does a really good job of getting inside position on Murphy, so he's not able to attack Engvall. He's got some time and space, and the quick release goes up and over the glove.
Here's Justin Hall in deep, trying to center. Hit the back of the net. Connor Murphy lost it. Simmons back on it. Tracked by Riley Stillman. Rubens will dump it back in. Ritchie behind the net, and now Hall. Taken away by McCabe. And he'll flip it over Hall and out, and trying to chase that down is Carpenter, but Rubens got back in a hurry. Here's Carpenter setting it up in front, and Hall with a good stick to knock it away from Hartman. Now Ritchie up off the skates of Simmons. Camp can't team a bouncing puck, and back in comes to Brinkett with Doc, and Mrazek got a piece of that dangerous DeBrincat shot. Now Gustafsson checked by Camp, but Doc comes back defensively.
Yeah, DeBrincat tried to basically go where Taves did underneath the blocker, but a good read. Mrazek was out aggressively enough, got the blocker down and able to make the save.
Just announcing the scoring play from Mike Ross, and Alex Steeves has registered his first National Hockey League point tonight. Parents in the building. Doc centering pass picked off by Tavares, and away goes Nylander. Kicks it up onto his stick, but unable to beat Gustafsson with that move. Now feeds the line, and it's kept alive by Riley. Nylander let it go, curve foot. Back for Brody. Nylander up high, tied up there by Kane. 88's battling, and the Leafs are back in. Through it goes for Nylander, and Seth Jones comes across. DeBrincat's pass broken up by the pinching Brody. Tavares hit by Gustafsson, and Seth Jones has got it. Here's Gustafson ahead. Good pass for Doc and DeBrincat. Look for Keane, rink wide, and Matthews cut off the pass, and the Leafs start back. Morgan Riley over the line, and Bunting followed. It's offside.
Well, you get a 3-goal cushion, and Chicago trying to get back in this game. DeBrincat looked for a second like he might pass across, but there's the reaction. I got the stick on it, not the blocker, as DeBrincat tried to go just up and over the pad, but Mrazek in good positioning, able to make a solid save.
Approaching the 6 minutes mark of this second period. Here's Kubalik through. Chance! What a stop! Peter Mrazek robbing Dylan Strome. And that's Mrazek's best save of the night.
Strome looking skyward here. I think he didn't realize how quick a reaction that he was going to get from Mrazek. This play developing quickly with a little lob pass. What a little thread of a pass there. You could see Mrazek was already almost legged side to side. If Strome holds on to this for a second, I think he might have been able to get it up and over. Tried to go sort of mid-5 hole, and Mrazek able to get back and not only make the save, but somehow grab the rebound before he could get to it.
Confidence boosting stop for Mrazek. Bunting on the forecheck. Played off the boards and out. Knocked down by Muzzin. Liljegren. Kasha. Can't make a connection with Austin Matthews. Second game for Kasha, riding shotgun with number 34. Said he felt out of sync the first time and was hoping to mesh better here tonight. Chance in front. Mrazek again. A dazzling stop off Hagel, and the fans now getting behind a goaltender they don't know too well, but like what they're seeing tonight.
Well, how about testing the groin that's been his nemesis all this season? That one was a very difficult one. Somehow able to get the right pad and get it up to be able to make the rebound save.
Giveaway here, and a shot goes high from Reese Johnson. It'll slide in front of the net, and Hall has it. Here are the Leafs with a 3-goal lead, and now a test of being able to maintain defensive structure and play confidently with that lead.
For Derek King, his team's found a little bit of life here and creating some chances and getting the speed of their game up a little higher than we saw earlier on.
Engvall takes over, a pass ahead to Steves. He'll roll it down past Seth Jones and chase after it. Steves with 7 goals in 12 games with the Marlies. And an assist here tonight. Sent around to the far side. Hardman back to Slavin. To the line for Murphy and across for Riley Stillman. He had 3 shots on goal in the opening period. Hardman from the corner. Watched there by Riley, but Hardman trying to center it, and Mrazek will shovel that away. Here's Carpenter. Now the 4th line for Chicago going to work in the Leaf zone. It'll be fed back to the line. Murphy fires right on. Puck rebound was sent wide with Mrazek down, and the goal stick knocked out of his hands.
That's about the 3rd right pad save that he's had to fight through traffic to find the puck, and he's waiting until the puck gets dumped in. Now finally goes and gets his stick back after making that save.
So 8.5 minutes into the second period, the Leafs lead by 3, but the Hawks coming on here. Kane, DeBrincat, Mrazek comes across to rob DeBrincat again. DeBrincat lost the puck, taken away by Kerfoot, and it'll be bounced down into the Chicago zone. Simmons unable to catch up to that. Keane knocked it to the boards, and Simmons picked it up there. Muzzin looking for Kerfoot at center. Neatly knocked that down. Camp for Simmons. Tried to spin around McCabe, but Jake McCabe's got it. Up for DeBrincat. That pass broken up. Simmons back to the Chicago line, but not over it. Chicago pushing the pace, and Peter Mrazek enjoying his best sequence as a Maple Leaf. Steve's back in, and the play is offside at the Chicago line.
Well, 7 saves this period for Mrazek, a few of them spectacular. In on the doorstep, look at the reaction, getting that pad up and able to make the save. Another one-timer coming from DeBrincat, gets the stick and supports. What a great start of the period for Mrazek.
Ball goal that has made it 4-1 here for the Leafs in the second period. What a throw for the kid who turned 22 yesterday, and whose grandparents, there's Kyle Clifford going to get the puck for Alex Steve, and grandparents Richard and Barbara Redden from Windsor, Nova Scotia are here to savor the moment.
If we could see their faces, you know there's a big smile there from both Grandma and Grandpa, but that's a moment you'll remember. Steve's getting a good opportunity and taking advantage of it. A couple good shifts tonight, even though, as you said, it was challenging to get them the ice time. They paid off with a huge goal and his first point of his National Hockey League career.
And we can't mention Windsor, Nova Scotia without saying they proclaim the birthplace of hockey. Parents were here for his debut game. In fact, Dad was on the plane going home after watching him play with the Marlies, and he got the call up, called his dad, and he got off the plane and went back into the city to see his debut performance, this game 3 for Alex Steves as an NHL player. Gallagher back in his own zone along with Jake Muzzin, and he'll loft it out to center. John Tavares on it along with Kerfoot. Nylander trailing. Kubalik got a stick on that. Hawks trying to turn with it and knocked away from Kurashev by Tavares. And Muzzin deposits it back in the Chicago zone. Judge are 19-13 for the Blackhawks, but they're down by 3 as we pass the midway mark of the second period. Brody for Kasha. Hit there by McCabe, who pinches in. Morgan Riley will try the other side. Seth Jones knocked that down, and now Matthews has a pass denied, and the Leafs can't get out.
Head up here, head up here. Both sides, the D being really active here. You're down by 3, you got to take a few chances, and both defense were down deep in the zone, try to pinch down, keep that play alive in the Toronto zone.
Ritchie after it. Taves able to clear for Chicago. Hagel racing after that. Now David Kemp to Matthews. And ahead comes Rubens. Christian Rubens sends it in, and David Kemp on the forecheck. Good hit there on McCabe. He comes up with the puck, trying to center it. That was picked off, and Alex DeBrincat will recalibrate his own zones. That knocked off balance by Ritchie, who heads to the bench on a change. Seth Jones will venture in deep against Kemp. In support is Hall. David Kemp works it up the boards, and there's Gustafson pouncing on that. Kept alive, and Keane to the far side. Engvall got there first for the Leafs, but lost it. Strome draped along the boards by Rubens. And Engvall dumps it out. Under 8 left here in the second period. Rink wide for Gustafson. And Keane knocked down there. Strome keeps it alive. He'll drop it off to DeBrincat. Kicked away by Mrazek. And away goes Engvall. Engvall with Simmons over the line. His shot gloved by Lankinen, and he'll hold on. So Engvall, the goal scorer, that's made it a 3-goal Leaf lead with 7:33 left here in the second.
Difficult season. Well, to this point, the attitude has been good as he has tried to get healthy once again. Mrazek admitted it's been hard to be patient, but added you have to be careful when it comes to the groin as a goaltender. It's been tested a few times here tonight, but he has been rock solid since the Taves goal early in the first, Chris.
No question about it, Kyle. I think we have to underscore that injury's been tested tonight.
Yeah, I mean, you look at those saves just in that sequence alone. That's such a strain on that type of injury, and so, as mentioned, a really good idea. You have to be 100% sure you're ready and everything's healthy to come back.
Steve flips it back in, out along with Engvall and Clifford once again.
Here's Sheldon Keefe again rewarding this fourth line. You know, there's a commercial break, an offensive zone faceoff. Not a lot of times, although with the 3-goal lead, you give a payoff to a fourth line that's had a good night.
And probably not overly excited by the run of play here in the second period.
Well, a little bit too much time in the Toronto zone. As I said, Derek King's got to be rallying his bench, just saying, just got to get one when things get a little bit more interesting. Keep the pressure on. And
Tavares steals the puck behind the Chicago net, but the Blackhawks get it back, and Calvin DeHaan advances, looking for DeBrincat. Mrazek out to swing that away, and Morgan Riley lost the puck. Dylan Strome's on it. Strome has moved into the middle of DeBrincat and Keane here in the second period. Rewarded for a good first period of play. And again, Dylan Strome was not in the lineup against Montreal on Thursday. That raised some eyebrows among those following Chicago. Kerfoot trying to get it to Matthews. Keane is there defensively for the Hawks, and he'll flip it away. John Tavares dumps it back in and starts a leaf change as Kasha comes out to join Matthews and Bunting. There's Jones. Along with Morgan Riley, tied for third in assists among defensemen, and tied for seventh in points among Blue Liners. Kasha to the attack, but a penalty behind the play, and Chicago's going to get a power play. Let's take a look at the penalty call. There's Bunting running interference, and he'll get the game. In the box, and now a message from Wheel of Time.
The Dark One's army is coming.
The Olympic and Paralympic Winter Games Beijing 2022 are coming. It all starts February 4th on CBC and Sportsnet. So it's the third power play of the game for Chicago. Taves on the draw, battling against Kemp. And the Leafs able to win the puck, and Kasha sends them back. Seth Jones will quarterback the power play. Keane to Brinken. Taves out, and Ryan Carpenter gets power play time on the E unit for Chicago. That pass disrupted by Kasha. And the Hawks will get rerouted here. Keane ahead. Jones going to lead them in. Here's Seth Jones. Spinning it back to the line to Brinket. Looks for Keane. To Brinket. Again, Keane sitting on 699 assists. Fires that. Easy pickings. Peter Mrazek.
Well, this power play just trying to take some of the pressure off. The one thing the Leafs have done effectively when their penalty killing has been on spot is they're very aggressive, and those two quick passes open up the passing lane, but that's one for Kane. He just knew he wasn't going to score on that one. Didn't have any other option as Muzzin was closing down, and try to win this draw and live to fight another chance.
Fun seeing his place in Chicago history. Only Bobby Hull and Stan Mikita with more goals than Patrick Kane. Only Stan Mikita and Denny Savard with more assists. Up for DeBrincat. Taves, the goal scorer for Chicago. Seth Jones returns it to the captain. Watched by Nylander. Banks it back to Jones, returns it to Taves, to Brinket, Kane, and Mrazek across again. Well, that'll test that recovered groin injury.
Oh, it's been an unbelievable period, hasn't it? And that's just an excellent read. You got to take a little peek to know. Kane tries to get hidden down low, but Mrazek, just a quick reaction, gets the skate right against the post as quickly as he can, able to follow that up with his glove right on top of it, and Kane from a tough angle. That's a hard shot to make. Tried to rifle that one off the post and in, but as he's been all period, Mrazek Another very acrobatic save.
Couple shots on the power play so far for Chicago. Mrazek's last outing was for the Marlies last Sunday in a 5-1 loss against Laval. Too far for Kurashev, and Muzzin, who's been steady tonight, sent it around, but not out. Kurashev after it against Hall. There's Muzzin, trying to spin off the checking of Hagel. Hagel takes it away. Bunting back on the ice. Leaps at full strength, but the pressure continues. Scores! Connor Murphy scores! And Chicago draws within 2.
Well, a really good rotation there of forward and defense, and Clifford a little bit late to get there. The rotation opens up some ice from down low. You can see the change on the vent. Murphy slides instead of to the middle of the ice back, and now it's a long way to go for Bunting. Good job by Kubalik in good positioning, taking away the eyes of Peter Mrazek. Murphy sees he's got the traffic in front. Kubalik wants to get, I'm not sure, he might have got a piece of that in front. Let's have a look on that last one, but Mrazek clearly looking through the 8, unable to find that one as it finds its way through.
Kubalik's reaction was to go to right to Murphy, so
yeah, usually that's the dead giveaway, isn't it?
Looks like it's the defenseman's goal, his second of the year. And Chicago gets rewarded for a territorial edge in the second period. And it's a 2-goal game once again, but Matthews lets it fly off the post. Matthews rings it up from long range. Liljegren's in deep. Ritchie after it, so Matthews out there along with Nick Ritchie on this shift and Wayne Simmons, and that puck is out of play.
Well, how about Matthews from a standstill out high with an 83-mile-per-hour wrister. I just take what they give you. A turnover down low, good pressure there by Ritchie. Matthews surveys the front, and this is just an absolute rocket. Quick little fire, uses the whip of the stick, and nice job of Ritchie getting out of the way and not allowing the goaltender to see it, but it's off the crossbar and out.
Boy, he had that corner picked. It's iron, stuck on 18 goals. But very much in the Rocket Richard race on this recent tear.
That kind of makes you forget about a so-called slow start to the season. Didn't score in the first 3 games and couldn't score in back-to-back during the first 17 games. But as you mentioned, now 8 of the last 9 games, he's put the puck in the back of the net 11 times.
Austin Matthews off to that slow start. Very much in the race with 18 goals on the season. Here's Gustafson to the net, and Mrazek down, traffic in front as Tavares ended up on top of Gustafson, and out comes Alex Kerfoot along with Nylander, and he'll roll it down into Chicago ice. Kerfoot on the forecheck, but Taves moves it quickly, and the Hawks are out off the skate to Jones.
Yes, that's a misplay by Nylander that very nearly made this a 1-goal game, as he got a little bit tied up with the linesman, but allowed Gustafson to just literally walk down the side right to the net.
Back in come the Hawks, and a hot shot by Taves is stopped by Mrazek.
Now, we showed Nylander before making the great effort coming back. He just kind of got caught watching here as he gets the referee in the way and doesn't close the gap quickly. A really good heads-up play by Gustafson to realize he had the lane to the net. Mrazek able to get down and not allow that one to sneak through him. As you said, if you're Derek King right now, you got a bunch of guys on their toes, and they're continuing to put some pressure in this period on Mrazek.
The Leafs with just 14 shots in the game. 3 in the second period. And Peter Mrazek's been the best Leaf in this middle frame. 95 seconds remaining in the period. Liljegren ahead. Matthews to the attack, along with Bunting. Matthews went to the forehand and fired that high. Another chance for 34.
What a display of hands and feet, and just keeping that puck alive and stick handling in a phone booth there.
Now DeBrincat testing Mrazek, who kicks out the left pad. At center ice, Bunting got a stick on that. Near the end of a shift, steered it towards Matthews, and Matthews going to stay out there because he's feeling it. Back in he comes. Looks for Brody, gives it back to Matthews, back to Brody. Into the final minute of the second period, and now Matthews heads to the bench. Alex Steeves, Clifford's come on. Engvall centers. Murphy there to knock it away. Engvall back on it. Around it goes to Steeves. The Notre Dame product gets it back to Engvall. His shot knocked down, and Steeves not able to kick that onto his stick. Good shift in the Hawk zone, though, by the fourth line. That's done well in this period. We're on it again. Engvall. David Kamp's come out. He parks in front. Engvall up high, and now swings it around deep. Kamp is on it in the final 10 seconds. He got knocked down, and Murphy will bounce it out. Morgan Riley back to get it, and we're through two here in Toronto.
Chris, you said Austin Matthews feeling it. When he's at his best, it's amazing. This puck control, the quick little hands, controlling the puck quick, gives his feet moving, bouncing, no problem, off your skate, on your stick. Oh, a close call as he tried to gather that one through the traffic, get it to an area where he could put it up top, just missed wide right.
Except about which we know frighteningly little. The problem is you trying to live two different lives. The longer you do it, the more dangerous it becomes.
NHL Edge IQ is powered by AWS, the official cloud infrastructure provider of the NHL. Kelly Rudy in the intermission talking about the good signs of Peter Mrazek so far tonight after the nervous start to this one. Here's a look at where the shots have come from against Chicago through two periods. Gave up 4 in his lone game with the Marlies in his conditioning stint last weekend, but 20 minutes away from his second victory with the Leafs here tonight. Chris?
Thank you, Kyle. And on this Grey Cup Eve, our best wishes go out to our colleagues across the street. Rod Smith, Glenn Suter, and the gang, the defending champs from Winnipeg against Kyle Dubas' favorite team, the Hamilton Tiger Cats. So we start the third period, the Leafs with a 2-goal lead, but Chicago had some momentum after the Engvall goal that made it 4-1. The Hawks outshot the Maple Leafs 11-1, 14-3 in that second period.
Well, my spidey sense is tingling, saying that Sheldon Keefe would be saying, guys, we're not hanging our goaltender out to dry here in the third period. A lot more time in the offensive zone as Chicago able to get too much.
Big hit by Jake Muzzin. That will draw responses. Play goes up ice. Austin Matthews ahead. And a pass for Kasha broken up. That was a big hit at center, and didn't look like the play was going to continue.
Well, he almost blew the whistle. Reese Johnson is down on the bench and really struggling with that one. Up high shoulder and possibly head. You're going to have to look at the replay in slow-mo to get a real good look at exactly where the principal point of contact is, but Johnson's still struggling by the bench, trying to get down and back into the room.
Get a glimpse at him heading to the room. Would likely be in concussion protocol after that heavy hit at center ice. By the way, spidey senses, I see what you did there. Morgan Riley turns it up ice. There's Nylander. 3-point first period. The Leafs with the lead on the strength of that 3-goal first period, which was uncharacteristic for the Hawks under Derek King. They'd given up 1 first-period goal in the previous 6 games. Pass in front, scores, Kubalik, and now it's a 1-goal game.
Well, as you mentioned, play continued on from the big hit, and it ends up helping the Chicago Blackhawks get right back into this game. Here's the initial hit by Johnson, got into the wrist of Muzzin, and oh boy, that's so close as he came across, got missed the shoulder, but here's a speed mismatch as the puck battle won, and Kubalik right on the doorstep. We've seen Mrazek get across with that pad so often, but great speed to the outside, just a chip pass across, and no wasted time on that one for Kubalik. Hasn't had a point in 4, but that's a huge goal to change the complexity of this game right now.
Great hustle by Kurashev to set it up, and that's the first 5-on-5 goal of the season for Dominik Kubalik. A 30-goal scorer in his rookie year, and back in comes Kurashev now. It's game on here early in the third period at Scotiabank. David Kampf behind his net, able to work that one free for Liljegren, and the Leafs are out. Here's Muzzin, up ahead Wayne Simmons. Simmons trying to load it up, but blocked by Connor Murphy. After it is Campton behind the net, reverses his direction and now tries to get it to the front. Denied there, kept in by Muzzin. Kemp took a whack at that, knocked down by Connor Murphy. Played in by Muzzin once again.
This is almost very similar to the Columbus game 2 games ago, where it looked like the Leafs were going to just walk away with the game, and they allowed Columbus to make it interesting and get themselves back into it a little bit. And here's Chicago, to their credit, haven't let up from that push in the second period.
Hagel after it. Hardman's moved up on the forecheck as well, along with Ryan Carpenter, and it'll be played to the Leaf line and out. And here's Kyle Clifford assisting on that Engvall goal in the second that is now the difference in the game. Steves had it chopped away from him. Engvall's on it. Engvall from the corner. Now fed to the line for Brody. Here Engvall on it once again. Kyle Clifford looking for Kasha, and that was a big stop there by Lankinen as Kasha came off the bench and was undetected.
Well, for Lankinen, he's been watching at the other end. He only had 3 shots in the entire second period, and that first one here early was a great little feed to Kasha coming fresh off the bench, and a hard shot he was able to handle with his pad.
Just the 15th shot for the Leafs on the night. Here's Hagel after it. Laid back out. Seth Jones has got it. Hawks will flip it in. Chicago's had tremendous success against the Leafs, 8-0-4 in their last 12. They won in Montreal 2 nights ago. They have won 7 straight there. Now Matthews trying to get that to the net, locked in front. And Seth Jones takes over. Chicago 4-1 in their last 5 visits to Scotiabank. Here comes Morgan Riley. Nylander put it on goal, and Lankinen holds on.
Desjardins, a proud part of communities, a proud fan of hockey wherever it's played.
Here's the hit again. That's a tough angle on that side. You could see the stepping up and trying to get to the shoulder, but as he moves to play the puck, where's the principal point? I think it's actually right on the corner. The secondary, to me, looked like the head. That's going to be an interesting one to call. You can see all the talk, Chris, down on the bench for Chicago. They've been talking to both officials, St. Pierre and Sutherland, about the hit.
But here we are. How many replays have we seen, and still no clear-cut result of what kind of hit that was. Here's DeBrincat. Patrick Kane in. Mrazek has got it. His momentum took him towards the line, but that puck did not cross the line. And Peter Mrazek able to thwart Patrick Kane again.
And it's transition that's giving the Leafs troubles. Down low, get caught in as Morgan Riley stayed in a little long. That's the long pass, bank pass by Strome. What a pass by DeBrincat. And then Mrazek just trying to stop his momentum, which is going backwards. He feels it between his pads, and he just tries to anchor himself and make sure he doesn't push back. Liljegren does a nice job of getting his stick in there, as well as Kane thought he had 5-0. You could see just a little high, and he's able to squeeze the legs and hold on and keep that one out of the back of the net.
Patrick Kane, the 62nd player in scoring in NHL history. The next man ahead of him happens to be Daryl Sittler. He's got 11 points to get even with Daryl Sittler. Tried to get even in this game on that great chance on the breakaway, stopped by Mrazek.
You know, it's been a little bit of a frustrating year for Kane. He's had hip problems, and there's been much speculation in Chicago. If this wasn't an Olympic year, he might have had surgery and not even be in there, but he's battling hard, still shaking his head as he thought he was going to put that one in. Another odd man rush.
Kemp won that draw cleanly. Simmons' shot doesn't get to the net, and here's Kurashev redlining in for Chicago with Kubalik and Doc. Wayne Simmons checked by Kurashev. The centering pass denied by Brody. Kubalik for Kirby Doc, the former Saskatoon Blade. A shot right on. And now Kemp. Simmons trying to chop it out. Kept alive at the line. And Leafs now are able to work it ahead. It went past Ritchie, and that's going to be icing against Toronto. And now a message from Yellowstone.
You're John Dutton, aren't you?
Yep.
You liken this game, the look of it, to the Columbus win. After that game, Sheldon Keefe said there was nothing about that game he liked.
Yeah, just the 2 points in the bank, and from the second period on, about midway point, I don't think he's been too happy with the turnover problems that are seeping back into the game here.
Eagle knocked down with the puck out to center ice. Jake Muzzin plays it off Taves back into the Chicago zone.
How about some of the matchups that this fourth line has had for Sheldon Keefe? There again, we saw earlier the Kane and DeBrincat line. There was the Taves line. They've drawn a penalty. They've scored the go-ahead goal, and now they create an icing and allow an offensive zone face-off for Matthews to take. That's been a pretty effective line in this game tonight.
So Keefe working the bench. 6.5 into the third, and a face-off in the Chicago zone controlled by the Hawks. Eagle a whack at that, and now flipped out to center, and Muzzin strides back. Jake Muzzin ahead for Liljegren. He'll dump it in from his side of center. That's an icing call against Toronto. Well, a young modern family takes on the world together. Run the Burbs, a new comedy series coming this January on CBC and CBC Gem.
And now they flip the switch as the Leafs get the icing, and so Derek King comes right back with the Kane, DeBrincat, and Strome line, trying to generate something off this draw.
Shot attempts, 37-29 Chicago. DeBrincat on the ice with 7 shots on goal. A chance there, and Mrazek turns aside the Dylan Strome opportunity. DeHaan has moved up, but now it's Strome along the boards. Knocked loose by Kasha, picked off by Kane. Patrick Kane looks across ice. Muzzin's going to pounce on that. Tipped in by Kane again, but finally Matthews forces it out. And now Michael Bunting's got it. Here's Bunting. Matthews fires right on. Matthews again with a bullet right on. Rebound, and he almost came up with that, but now Chicago's away, and it's DeBrincat dashing back in, and that pass intercepted by Riley. Around the boards, and a keep by McCabe. Matthews out after back-to-back shots, and he was on the prowl looking for a third. Now Tavares, Nylander, Kerfoot check in. Fourth line is out for Chicago. John Tavares stopped up by Carpenter. Hardman got a stick on that pass intended for Nylander. Around to the near side, Riley couldn't catch up to that. Chicago winning races to the puck in the Leaf zone. And from the corner battle, Hardman gets it to the line. Here comes Stillman with a shot, and that deflected wide. And it's Kerfoot looking ahead for Nylander, who looked over his right shoulder. It went by him on the left, and it's an icing call. Well, your favorite bakers are back to whisk you a merry, great Canadian baking show holiday special tomorrow at 8 on CBC and CBC Gem. On this night, 2 weeks away from the big day.
And you've got Riley and Brody that are about 1:10 each right now, and both trying to gather themselves here and make a play with a little bit of fatigue being a factor.
Doc, Kubalik, and Kurashev, and it's Kubalik's goal. It's got Chicago a shot away.
That hit Jones there, so that's why there's no icing. So a great opportunity to make the change for the Leafs.
Here comes Kirby Doc. Checked by Kemp. Ball to Muzzin. And off Ritchie down into the Chicago zone. Simmons striding after it, trying to tie up Seth Jones. Ritchie follows up, but Jones able to move the puck and get it back from Kurashev. Got off to a real tough start in Chicago, but this really become the cornerstone guy that they were hoping for.
The big minutes you expect. It's just -10 in the first 8 games of the season is a tough way to start as a big minute guy in a new team and trying to embrace yourself with your new teammates. But he's responded and battled awfully hard and having a good run of it lately.
Peter Mrazek and him could compare notes on
exactly. Kind of tough, isn't it?
how to start with a new team or how not to. Matthews over the line. Here's Kasha trying to shift gears, but knocked down. And the puck off the stick of Matthews, and Chicago dumps it out. But here they come again. Bunting drops. Matthews to Bunting to the net. And a backhand stopped by Lankinen. Best chance for the Leafs in a while. Michael Bunting conspiring with Matthews. Kasha wins a board battle. Behind the net, knocked down by Bunting. Now DeHaan. DeBrincat to the line and kept in by Riley. Good keep there. But both teams start to change as Chicago gets control. Jonathan Taves for Brandon Hagel. Carpenter up on the line in the spot previously occupied by Reese Johnson before the Muzzin hit. Swept to the line. Stillman across for McCabe. His shot scores! Through traffic, it's 3 straight for Chicago to tie it.
Well, this line unable to win the battles down low, and credit the Hawks, they just keep coming. Their D have been really active, but here you've got a 4 against 3 for the Leafs. Steves tries to get it back to his defenseman. Now you've got another turnover. The gap is too far, so Steves unable to close the gap there. And then look at all the bodies in front. That one goes right by Kyle Clifford as McCabe does a nice job moving laterally. The quick wrister through traffic. It didn't look like Hagel got a piece of it, but this time Mrazek was way too deep in his net, and look at how far down he is. He's trying to look underneath the bodies in front, and that one goes up and over the shoulder to tie this game.
Hawks were 30th in points by defensemen coming into the game. They get goals by Connor Murphy, and it looks like Jake McCabe, a couple of guys just back in their lineup to get even here with just over 9 minutes to go in the third period. Leafs need a response as Chicago's got all the momentum now. McCabe back in his own zone. 4th consecutive game in which the Leafs have given up at least 4. Here's DeHaan, rink wide. Keane over the line, sends it to net. That's a tough deflection stop by Mrazek. Hawks win a board battle, get it back to the line. Keane is there, trying to swivel away from Simmons. Keane will swing it through. Down low is Seth Jones. Strome's in front. Riley takes it away from Jones. Jones gets it back. Now Riley tried to send it across and right onto the stick of Keane. Over it goes to Jones. That shot through to the net. Rebound to Brinkett, the centering pass off a stick and out. Leafs will hit on a Western Canadian swing that starts Tuesday in Edmonton. Next game for Chicago, Monday at home against Calgary.
Well, how odd is this for Chicago? This is just the third time in 27 games that Chicago has even scored 4 goals.
There's a steal by Kasha. And a bad angle shot stopped by Lankinen.
To be down 4-1 and have the ability to make this a game, it is just something that this team hasn't been able to do all year.
Came into the game ranked 30th in offense. Justin Hall back for Bunting. Hall's jumped up on the rush. Bunting kicked it to a stick. Backhand stopped. What a chance for Kasha. A sprawling play here by Hagel, able to force it out to center ice.
I don't think Kasha realized how much time he had. He could have handled that for a second. He just tried to chip it up and in as he was on his backhand. Nice job of Lankinen getting down and getting the piece.
Bunting's had a couple of moments here in the third period offensively. Now a pass for Kubalik, missed the mark, and that's icing Chicago. Well, don't miss the new CBC original comedy about growing up in the 1980s, Son of a Critch, coming this January to CBC and CBC Gem. Leafs score 3 in the first, led 4-1, and Chicago with 3 straight since to get back on even terms. I mentioned that success against the Leafs, and even here in Toronto in recent visits. Riley knocked down, able to get the puck to Tavares, kept in by Kerfoot. And now the captain to work. Centers it, Riley, and not in the wheelhouse. It'll be Liljegren giving it back to Morgan Riley, and that shot is blocked en route and off the boards and out. Liljegren steered it. The glove of Liljegren, I believe, so a hand pass halts play. 6:07 left in the third period, and Jake McCabe has equalized for the Hawks.
84 lineup. Well, the persistence of Chicago on a night where it looked like it was not going to go their way, down 4-1, and then it started. Murphy, Kubalik, McCabe has us now tied in the third period. When Derek King first took over, wanted just to ease the tension of the group. You could feel it in the dressing room as soon as he walked in, and they've been a much freer team here en route to a 3-goal comeback in this third period, Chris.
Trying to win their 10th under Derek King, who took over on November the 6th.
A lot of talk in that room just about his communication skills and his personality. Players who have played with him when he was a player, he was a lighthearted guy, lots of fun, and with a team that was gripping their sticks pretty tight, they probably needed somebody to settle things down a little bit, give guys some confidence.
He is a bit of a character. Wore a loud checkered suit one night, he said, to distract the other team. There's Nylander, 3 points in that first period. The Leaf offense has gone quiet. Funny, October 27th, it was a dramatic Leaf comeback from 2 down and a Nylander overtime winner tonight. The tables have turned, but not done yet. The Brinkett centers, and there's Kerfoot back to pick that pass off. There's Engvall through center, and Carpenter cut him off with the pass and sends it back into the Leaf zone.
It's like Engvall never saw him. Carpenter came from the bench, and Engvall looked up, and I just at the last second realized he was going to get cut off.
Not quite as heavy a hit as he absorbed last Saturday night in Minnesota. An open ice bone jar. Here's Muzzin trying to get it to that. That blocked, and Hagel nearly pounced on that. Good hustle by Kyle Clifford to break up a rush and take it back. But now Hagel trying to get loose. Camp there comes across. Carpenter bumped him. Hagel trying to steal it, and Mrazek will tee it up for Hall. Leafs have gone 7 consecutive games allowing 2 or under, but now it's 6 straight games where the opponents have scored at least 3. David Camp redlining in for Toronto. Lankinen out of the net. Tough handoff, and it causes a turnover. Campbell swinging off the stanchion, and Jones able to play that. And Kubalik chips it past Liljegren and down. Blackhawks have not come back from 3 down on the road since a game in Vancouver in 2016. Here's Kasha, who's had one of the best league chances in the third. Oh, he got hit hard by Murphy. And Kasha went back at Murphy and bounced off him. Michael Bunting goes after it. Kasha trying to stir it up, looking for Matthews, and that shot off Strome. Kasha trying to swivel away from the cage, who takes it away for the Blackhawks. To the line, but not out. Ball sends it back in. There's Kasha. Matthews trying to become available. Back to Kasha, and Bunting behind the net. Feeds the point, Justin Hall. Bunting can't reach that. Morgan Riley moves up. Bunting kicked it back to him. Matthews stop, point blank range. Good stop by Lankinen. Nylander wheels. William Nylander behind the net. Back up top. Morgan Riley played that carom off the inboards, but Strome read it first, and he'll clear. Little pushback by Toronto.
Oh, good push there. Now the key is Tavares line, try to follow it up, and for Taves to try to diffuse it and get it going back the other way for Chicago.
Nick wide pass too far for Nylander. Liljegren to Muzzin, back in. John Tavares after it, leaned on by Taves. A chance there by Kerfoot, couldn't get it to the net. And Riley Stillman's away. Long lead feed for Carpenter. Bumped hard by Muzzin. Bagel on the forecheck. Muzzin plays it ahead. And Kerfoot unable to knock down that bouncing puck. Back out comes Engvall. Puck at center for Doc. And now over the line, Kubalik winds up, and he rifled that just wide. Up high for Kerfoot at the end of a shift, and he'll head off as Engvall heads in. Pierre Engvall now sends it around to the far side. Riley advances. Wayne Simmons will take a turn in place of Steves here, along with Engvall and Clifford.
That was a quick change by Steves. I think he just didn't look up at the clock, how much time was left, didn't want to get overextended. Probably a wise move in your third game.
Oh, loose puck in front, Camp scores! The Leafs get a bounce, and the Leafs get the lead.
Unbelievable break for David Kampf, the former Chicago Blackhawk. Scored the big goal back in October to tie the game and get it to overtime. Here, he's trying to end it before overtime. Just a simple dump in by Morgan Riley, and for Riley, the hot streak continues. Another assist, but this one, a very unique one. Lankinen expecting it to go down. So often you see a goaltender, Chris, when it's not your building and it's up along the glass, just stay in the net, especially late in the game. And here he goes out the other side. Kampf doesn't waste any time and gets the backhand up and over. This is a crazy game sometimes, the twists and turns that can happen within a 60-minute game.
David Kampf against his old team, his first in 12. 4 goals on the year and half that total against his old club.
You saw Fleury just looking on, not going to say anything. That's a split-second decision for a goaltender. I said late, often it's just for Morgan Riley. He's trying to put it up there for that very reason. Keep the goaltender in to keep it alive. Instead, Lankinen took the risk. A bad bounce, but an opportunistic one for David Kampf.
Not the same, because this involved a stanchion, but I couldn't help but think about Fleury and the late goal by the Canadians in that series against Vegas last year. It's a game you think you're right in, and then in the late stages, that kind of goal. How deflating is that?
Unbelievable. And again, the value of David Kampf now with 1:20. Sheldon Keefe puts him out in the middle with Matthews and Kasha.
And Taves is joined by Patrick Kane and DeBrincat, and Lankinen will go to the bench for the extra attacker here as the Hawks try to get it back. Taves for Jones. 6 on 5 here. DeBrincat Kane up top, incoming, and that deflected off a stick wide of the net. DeBrincat back to Jones. Camp and Kosh out there defensively along with Matthews. Mrazek steered it to Hall. 3 Hawks swarm there and come up with a puck. Now it's DeBrincat knocked out, and Matthews got a stick on it to knife it out to center ice.
Chicago bench wanted the penalty there as DeBrincat was knocked down.
I'd like to welcome viewers that were watching Montreal and St. Louis. We're in the last half minute here. It's a 1-goal game. Leafs leading 5-4. Extra attacker on for Chicago, and Matthews gets it out to center. Seth Jones. Strome can't get loose, and Jones has got to go back.
Great stick by Muzzin there. He stood up at the line, got the stick in there, and then makes the change to get fresh troops back on.
Now they're in, but that's picked off by Riley. Around it goes, and it'll slide down the ice. Is there going to be enough time? No, it's run out, and the Leafs will win it on a goal at 18:41 of the third.
Well, Lankinen frustrated with that fluky goal to win the game, but how about Peter Mrazek, and specifically that second period when the push really came, some acrobatic starts, an awful big test on that injured groin that he's been dealing with, and he passed it with flying colors.
31 stops from Mrazek, able to hang in for his second Leaf win after a frantic Chicago comeback from 4-1 down to tie it. David Kemp at 18:40.